happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, I'm not sure what is driving me the most bonkers. A couple of guys like disappointing or not showing up, or my Miami Dolphins who downright stink.
Yeah, they do stink. So I mean, if I was you, I'd probably wouldn't care about them at all. I'd give up on them and stop wasting my time with them because that's pretty much all they are. At this point, it's a waste of time, and I'd probably worry more about my fantasy team. Speaking of fantasy teams, this is probably the best week I've had in fantasy all year. So I'm a little happier this year this week than I have been in previous weeks.
Okay, yeah, I'm leaning that way. I was actually looking on Amazon about buying shirts for a new team. I'm just that frustrated. I had on a Dolphin shirt prior to recording. I was like, I just can't be seen in public with that. It's embarrassing. I sent my buddy a meme of Sylvester the cat from Looney Tunes, his son putting a bag on his head because that's how the Dolphins should feel. And right now, some people will listen to this after the fact, but my money is on that they're going to have a new coach tomorrow. The way their quarterback played, they maybe should have a new one of those. And we're
Yeah,
recording a
probably,
little late.
probably a
What?
new GM probably wouldn't probably
Yeah,
wouldn't hurt, but I feel like there's an overhaul coming with the Miami Dolphins.
I think so. And I was like, man, I keep watching and I think I'm getting too old. I don't want to go through all these rebuilds. And I was younger. Okay, a rebuild. Now I'm old. I'm like, I just want to win something. They have played in 3 playoff games since my wife and I have been dating and married, and they've gotten obliterated in all of them. So it's been a terrible adult life, which makes me want to go. Maybe I just become a Chiefs fan. I just win.
Or
That's
maybe
all I
yeah,
need.
maybe you just become a football fan and don't really show any allegiance to any team because they show zero allegiance to you. They don't help you out in any way, any team. All they do is take all of your money and give you nothing in return. So screw all of them.
And then they follow up by saying, "Yeah, we don't care about your fantasy team." So if I ever find some guy who says, "I care about your fantasy team," that could be my new favorite
Yeah,
team. But for now,
that's fine. They don't have to care about my fantasy team because I don't care about them. So they can suck it. So,
I think they gotta care. Like I've always been when they say that, I was like, "Dude, you do realize your entire career these days was saved by fantasy football. If there was no
well,
fantasy
okay.
football, NFL would be big, but not that big.
I,
I really believe it.
NFL teams
Gambling,
should have zero care about fantasy teams. That is, I mean, zero relevance of in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, if you're playing, I don't see these coaches out here intentionally trying to lose, intentionally trying to tank games, or intentionally trying to get their players, to have bad games. Um, they could. I mean, I wouldn't care less about. I could care less about fantasy either if I was in the real NFL. I mean, we are just participating in it because we watch it. Those, I mean, I wouldn't care if I was. I'd say that all the time too. I could care less about your fantasy, but at the end of the day, I could care less about them.
yeah. I want it to be equal. I'm just a happy-go-lucky. I was like, hey, they
Well,
owe us, we owe them.
but but I've been saying, but the NFL and fantasy is like two totally different. They're not even on the same realm of I don't want to say importance, but they're they've got much bigger fish to fry than their fantasy players scores 17 points or
Like quality overseas games, like we got today. So they're continuing the thread. But I went on that last week. But let's check out our sponsor, Fast Draft. If you haven't had a chance, download the Fast Draft app. It's a growing game where you can get in it right as it gets started. Use the code Couriers. They'll match your deposit up to $50. It's super simple. You jump in, pick a couple players. Right now, we're in the regular season where you pick some players and you rank how much value each of those players has. So if I say I want Puka when he plays again to be worth 2 times the price. It's 2, 1.5, 1.25, 1. So you get to prioritize the guys on your DFS team. Makes it kind of fun. It's kind of a different kind of league, and there's only a couple contests running, so you'll be competing against almost everybody who's competing on Fast Draft. So check out the Fast Draft app. Use the code Couriers. If you do join, hit me up. I'll send you some stickers, some swag, and recognize you here on the show. Looking for somebody, anybody to make us look like a legitimate podcast. That's all we need. Just somebody to. I know you're listening. I see the numbers. Just go to Fast Draft, put in a couple bucks, hook us up because we do get hooked up, and everything we get will go back into the podcast. But enough about that. I think JJ Wang is gonna have a little fun this week.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Mr. Woolen.
a little pleasure and pain today. For me, today was more of a pleasure than a pain, but at the end of the day, it is fantasy. So there's always going to be a little bit of pain in there. Of course, we're going to start with quarterbacks today. As always, before I started, just a quick shout out to all the old quarterbacks. Stafford, good week. Mahomes, back to being, peak Mahomes a few years ago. Flacco and Aaron Rodgers put on a show on Thursday night. Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, they're not really old. Good games. Dak Prescott. I want to talk about two younger guys um, that are kind of almost at the top of the game, but kind of at the top of the game right now. That's Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos. Finally, a game where you can talk about Bo Nix, where he's actually a pleasure. I mean, he's had a few decent games, but overall, compared to what we thought he was going to be, a little disappointing. This week they played the Giants, pulled it out, close game, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, and then the 2 rushing. That's what really helps out with Bo Nix. And then the other guy, as we compare a little bit here, is Jackson Dart. Super impressive for the Giants since he's taken over. They've been they've been competitive. I mean, they've looked like a legit football team, and he's played really well since the start. He really hasn't had a bad game. All of them have been pretty solid. I mean, he had uh, 283 and 3 passing touchdowns. Didn't get the rushing yards, but he can rush. So my question to you going forward: I know you're a Bo Nix fan, but who would you rather have, Bo Nix or Jackson Dart? Now remember, Bo Nix is 25, Jackson Dart is 22.
Well, it's not even a competition. You got to have the quarterback coached by Sean Payton. I mean, really, this is splitting hairs. I'll take Bo Nix. Got him everywhere. I'm not going to kick either of these guys to the curb. But then again, we're seeing Bo Nix come back after that slow start. That sophomore started this year. We were like, oh, crud, this is C.J. Stroud part 2. And realistically, in today's game, Bo Nix played a really good 5.5 minutes. That's the sad part. We look back, the score was 26-8 with 5.5 or so minutes left in the game, and then Bo Nix just went bonkers, took over the game. Jackson Dart turned over the ball. They got the touchdown there to go ahead of the Broncos, and the Broncos got back down the field for the go-ahead field goal. So I was going berserk. That was the T-shirt I was looking at, was getting a Broncos shirt. But everybody knows I'm on that bandwagon. But realistic, for now, it would be Bo Nix, not by a whole lot, more because we've seen him through a season. And Jackson Dart, we've seen this movie before where some guy starts really hot. Now, next year, Jackson Dart's playing like this, it would probably be Jackson Dart because of the consistent running. Like Jackson Dart, Bo Nix blew him out of the water on the ground today. Bo Nix had 5 for 48 and 2 touchdowns. But that's not – Jackson Dart's going to probably be more runner than Bo Nix, whereas Bo Nix is generally more passing. So next year at this time, I would probably say Dart, but right now I'm going to say with Nix because he did it one year, and now we're seeing him avert that sophomore slump.
Yeah,
But it was a heck of a game, man. It was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say I don't like Bo Nix. I've come around to, I guess, thinking he's a decent player. With that being said, I really don't care for him a whole bunch. I'm probably going to take Jackson Dart, like the newer hotness. It's not that I don't know why I would like Jackson Dart more than Bo Nix. I just didn't like Bo Nix in college, and that's pretty much what it over to. But yeah, I'd probably take Jackson Dart. Like I said, I don't think it really matters. I think they're both going to turn out to be really, really good. Now, on the opposite side of that, on the Payne side, we got 2 young quarterbacks. Cam Ward for the Tennessee Titans. Of course, he plays for Tennessee. Uh, Already on their 3rd offensive coordinator, 2nd coach. They have no idea what they're doing. The run game is bad. Receiving options are bad. So he's kind of in a really, really bad situation. Of course, he's the number 1 overall pick. This we have to see if the ceiling's there. Then the other guy's Bryce Young, who's also a former number 1 overall pick. Had a second half of the season last year. We thought maybe he might have come around a little bit, but going into this season is pretty much the same old Bryce Young. There's not really much difference. There's a good game here, a good game there, but not really a whole lot. So the same question going forward: who would you prefer here, Cam Ward or Bryce Young?
I'm glad you talked about Tua. I'd throw him to the curb too. I'm gonna go. I think Cam for the exact same reason, but backwards. because we've seen Bryce Young for all this time, and we know what we have here. Do I think Bryce Young is going to be around for the next decade? Yeah, I do. I do, but I don't think he's ever going to get to that next level. He had one game this year over 200 yards, and that was 328 yards. Everything else has been 199 or less with 121, 138, 154. He's had those games like the team has looked better, and I think that's going to help him in the long run. So he might be one of those plot along the Mendoza line once he figures out the game a little more, but never a stellar fantasy guy. But Cam Ward, I think his ceiling could be higher if he has something around him. I mean, realistically, he's throwing to rookie receivers and castoffs. The running game is non-existent. The line is terrible, and he's making rookie mistakes. But he's going to have time, just like Bryce Young. They're both going to have some time. The team's going to let him figure out the game, and hopefully they get him a coach next year that can help.
Yeah, I think I would go Cam Ward just for the simple fact that he looks more like an NFL quarterback than Bryce
He
Young.
threw for 255, so
Yeah. But I mean, I think he just looks more of like the NFL style quarterback. Bryce Young, of course, really, really small dude, probably about my size. So yeah, but both of them, both of them are in for a pretty rough season. Cam
look
Ward,
at
especially.
here's crazy thing. I didn't realize it. I thought his year stunk. I just pulled up his game logs. He's got 4 games over 200 yards in his rookie year. The Houston game he dudded, but that's better than I thought it was. I haven't looked deep at Cam Ward because the Titans are just not giving us anything. But for a rookie quarterback to do that on a terrible team, give him a receiver or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that flag's planted even more now.
Yeah, just give him a coach that kind of knows what they're doing. So I mean, that kind of helps out a lot too. All right, switching to running backs. I haven't really talked about this guy pretty much all season, but he's having a fantastic year. I thought I'd finally bring him up. Jonathan Taylor, currently the RB1 for the league. Of course, he plays for the Colts, who are having a spectacular season. Nobody, you kind of thought they were.
Wait. Who said they were going to win the division?
I said you did. So he looks really, really good. The offense as a whole looks really, really good. Is Jonathan Taylor going to finish RB1?
No. Sure. I mean, he has the talent. He's done it before, I believe. He's always been a top tier running back, and he's getting a couple of receptions. I mean, he had 3 for 38, but only on 3 targets. So I mean, his real competition is going to be. Actually, I gotta say no because I think Bijan is that good. So he'll be RB2, but he's looking at McCaffrey biting his heels, Gibbs biting his heels. So it's between those 3. But I think Bijan is he hadn't played yet, so he's out of my mind right now. We record always everybody before the Sunday night game. But Bijan, to me, it's Bijan, and then there's a tier of basically the Gibbs and Taylor and McCaffrey probably. There's probably someone I'm missing, but those 3, I mean, Judkins today's catching up. But you don't play Dolphins every week. But yeah, I think RB1's going to be tough the way Bijan is playing, because watching him last Monday was one of the most tremendous things I've watched in a while. He's so good. So good.
Yeah, I think it'll be
great.
close. It'll be close. I think Jonathan Taylor keeps playing like this. I mean, the consistency, he said 1 or 2. I don't really see him falling much farther than that. But yeah, the way Bijan's playing right now, he could. I know he's a running back, but like MVP is kind of like in consideration the way he's playing. Of course, he ain't gonna win because Patrick Mahomes is having
Wait,
a huge year, and if he has
call.
any semblance of a good year, uh, Mahomes will get it. So, but yeah, shout out to Bijan Robinson for having a fantastic year. Another guy, um, kind of surprising me a little bit. That's Jaylen Warren from Pittsburgh. He had a pretty solid start to the season. Then he got injured a little bit. Missed a game and a half, and then he come back last week. Wasn't great, but this week, had a pretty decent game. I think he had 17 points roughly, something like that, as far as fantasy goes. And that generally depends on how your scoring goes. He's clearly the RB1 in Pittsburgh. Gainwell had that good game, but a few weeks back, but I don't really see Gainwell doing much. And Caleb Johnson, he must not play for him anymore. Made
He
too
made
many
him mad.
mistakes, so he's kind of out of the picture. What's your confidence in Jaylen Warren being like a solid RB2?
RB2, I could see him there. Yeah, somewhere. I mean, that can be anywhere from 13 to 24. So yeah, I could put him in there because that's any starting running back that stays healthy-ish, and that would have to be healthy-ish for the rest of the year because he missed that. I guess he only missed that 1 week when he was pulled to overseas. But he's showing that he can catch because the the week in Seattle, he had a dud week, 48 yards rushing, but he had 86 receiving. So he's catching the ball too. This week he just had a coming out party versus the Bengals. They're not a stellar defense, so and I mean he's played some pretty good run defenses though too. I mean Cleveland is not a terrible defense. They're wasting that defense on a pretty terrible team. New England's always an okay-ish defense. Seattle, New York Jets, they're not like dumpster fires. Like they're not great teams, but they can stop the run. And he's still averaging 4.4 for the year. So that's what you want. He's not consistent yet, so that's what worries me. That's why if you said 1, I said no way. But I mean 2, you put him at 18 to 20. I'm not worried about that. You ask me about 12, about 13, 14, 15, that'd be iffy.
Yeah, I mean, I think with like I said, if he's healthy, the way Pittsburgh is playing, I think he can be a consistent type running back. I'm not gonna say he's gonna score over 20 points, but that 15 point, you know, 13, 14, 15 points a game. And if you're doing that every game, the consistency is ultimately going to win out, and you're most likely going to be a higher end RB2 with just consistency. But like I said, you have to stay healthy and all that. So, but yeah, he's really surprised me. Two guys that are on the opposite end of the spectrum. First, we'll go Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne started off really strong. I mean, he had like 4 really good games. Kind of, we thought Travis Etienne might have been back. He's looking. I don't want to say the old Etienne, but he was looking better. He was clearly the RB1 in Jacksonville. The last 3 games,
Oof.
not good at all. Now they have been some pretty good teams, like Kansas City, Seattle, and the Rams. So I mean, that probably might have a little something to do with it. But overall, I mean, a 3 week stretch where he's scoring in single digits when coming into that before that stretch, and you were like a top 12 guy, kind of hurts a lot. Where do you project ETN for the rest of the season? More along this or the first 4?
I'm pulling up their schedule to see. I mean, they have the Raiders next, so he's going to go back up. Texans back down. Chargers sort of middle. Cardinals middle. Titans, Colts, Jets. I think honestly, he is right where he's gonna be. He had September was his month. October's been poo. They're going to that 8. Next week is like bye-week purgatory. Like hopefully you're prepared. I'll pull up those teams in a moment, but they don't play again till November. And so he gets a little bit of time to get back on track. Like I think that entire team needs to be. And he showed that he can do it. And when they gave him more touches, he did better. So hopefully, I mean, Carolina week 1 was monster. He did a monster against San Francisco, who's a good team. He's not going to be consistent, but I mean, I'd have him right with, if not just barely above Warren, probably in that kind of a range.
Another guy, older guy, probably not going to be in the NFL much longer. And that's Alvin Kamara. Of course, he's been a huge contributor to fantasy football his entire career up until this year. He's currently outside top 24 running backs. Last few weeks, been pretty down. I mean, pretty much the whole season been pretty down. Really hasn't had a good game yet. I mean, is this what we expect from Alvin Kamara the rest of the year? I mean, we're kind of trying to like avoid him, right? Probably.
Yeah, I think so. I hate to say it. I think finally, I don't. And the thing is, usually age catches up to you, but I think this was a combination of age, and this team is bad. They're so bad they got to pass a lot. Like Spencer Rattler turned over the ball. I think it was 4 times. I just changed my screens of how many, but he had like the interceptions and he turned over the ball so many times they had to play catch up. So Rattler ends up with 3 interceptions and a fumble. He still has 2 touchdowns, 233 because they had to because the Bears just were rolling over them and they had to play catch up. So it means you can't run Kamara. And then people know that Kamara is really the best receiver on the team. I mean, it should be Olave, which thank God they're starting to throw to him. But yeah, I think I'm worried. It might change because Kendre Miller did go down today. So I mean, not this week. Everything was cruddy, but the other weeks Kendre Miller started to sneak in and take some of the carries. So if there's some lingering injury with Miller, it might give an uptick to Kamara. But I think they were giving them both some push there.
Yeah. So speaking of Olave, I was going to bring him up in my wide receivers He had a really good game. First good game of the season, I would guess. Had a few. He's had a few. Well, not really. No, they pretty much sucked up until this point. Um, so he's been very, very inconsistent his whole career. I don't think he's been very good his whole career. I don't want to say inconsistent. He hasn't been
Injured. He's
very
been
good.
injured. That's a
He
problem.
has the injuries, but I mean, outside of the injuries, even when he is playing, he hasn't been all that great. Now he hasn't had some. He hasn't had very many good quarterbacks. So to him either. So I mean, that could be a thing as well. But he did have a little breakout game today. We'll see if it lasts. And then the other guy, I don't know if we'll get to talk about these guys too much the rest of the season, is Jordan Addison. Of course, he missed the first few games. Suspension, right? Addison was suspended,
Yeah, he's suspended for DUI.
so he's coming back. He looks good. I mean, we all, I think we both like Jordan. I mean, he's a decent player. I'm not sure how much he's going to be involved or how much room he can go here. But for the rest of the season, which one of these guys would you prefer to have the rest of the season?
Oh, I'm not as down. We talked about actually, Susan and Cameron. I talked about him on the Tuesday night Turf War show about Olave a bit. Olave actually is getting targeted galore, which makes me not as hesitant as most people are. He has 13, 10, 14, 6 against Buffalo, 11, 10, and 7 today, targets a game. And that's the sticky that's what you want him to get as far as targets, because that means the ball's coming his way and there's a better chance for receptions. And we're looking at Addison here. He's had 8, 6, and 12 today. So if I have to choose, I mean, I think these guys could be fairly comparable. I'd probably go with the better team with Addison. Although McCarthy was playing terrible. Is Wentz the if McCarthy comes back? McCarthy is playing like Spencer Rattler. So they've got to pass the ball. These guys could be very, very close, to be honest, on the year. And I was glad to see Olave come out because he's an Ohio State receiver, so he's good. He's just been hurt, and now his quarterback is Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I got a bonus wide receiver here. Got Rashee Rice coming back from suspension. Not a lot of yards, but he did get the touchdowns. The Chiefs looked really good. They did play the Raiders, I believe. So I don't know if that really counts for anything because the Raiders are dreadful. But where do you see Rashee Rice rest?
From this point on, Rashee Rice to me is their wide receiver one.
Well, I know he's their wide receiver.
Yeah, in the league, like he is a top 12 receiver for the rest of the year. He won't. I don't think statistically. I think it's going to take him like bajillion yard games to get up there. He could probably finish wide receiver too, but he had 10 targets already. They were just short, sweet, quick. They didn't have to really push it down the field with him, and they won't have to. He's a possession receiver. He's probably going to be more of a Keenan Allen type receiver because Worthy now will stretch the field for them. So having Worthy learn the game and become even better is going to help him. But I mean, 7 of 10 for 42, and then he had the I thought the touchdown he got, the first one he got was a rushing touchdown, but it was one of those. I love those little shovel passes because it got me double points because I had Mahomes in one league and Rice in another league. I'm glad I had one league where he got dropped because we had short bitches and guys needed players, so I picked him up quick and held him on my bench for 4 weeks and got 2 touchdowns this week. But yeah, I truly believe this guy is a top 12 receiver for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty relevant. But like I said, if he's only getting 42 yards, he's gonna have to get 2 touchdowns every game.
Yeah, 10 targets. So it'll add. He'll get there.
Yeah, we hope. All right, I got two wide receivers that aren't doing very good. One wide receiver had a really, really good season last year. Is having a really, really bad one this year. And then the other guy's kind of the opposite. The first one was Brian Thomas for Jacksonville. Absolutely dreadful. Probably one of the biggest disappointments in fantasy last year. Or coming into this season, we were pumping him up as like a top five option, right? So
Yeah.
huge disappointment. And then the other guy, Roma Doomsday for the Bears. Uh, Last year, not good. Wasn't getting a lot of targets. I mean, Caleb Williams was having a bad season. Kind of getting adjusted to the game. So he had the targets last year, but just the catches weren't there in the yards and stuff like that. So this year, currently, he's like wide receiver 11, 12, 13, something like that. Not a very good game today, clearly. I mean, 4 points. Thomas had 4 points. But both of these guys, really, really young. Of course, the Doomsday got drafted in the top 10. Thomas was somewhere in the first. I'm not really sure where we're at. But which one of these guys would you rather have, like just for the rest of their career?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rome.
Yeah.
I'm on the Rome train this year. I love BTJ. And I think if you're in Dynasty, see if you can buy him. He is going to be amazingly cheap right now, unless the savvy owner goes, "Dude, you're trying to buy him on cheap." Well, yes, that's what I'm trying to do. So I would see if the owner's ticked and wants to sell him, because he's still getting targeted. I mean, he's had at least 6 targets a game, which means it could turn around. He had 2 over 10, but Rome came in with a rookie quarterback. Rome and Caleb are going to be linked together for the rest of their career. Um, as one goes, I believe the other will go. So I'm not. And Caleb wanted Rome Odunze. I said that I was talking about that last year. Like, I thought that this year would be the year when he started to come up, and he really has for the most part had a pretty good year. The last 2 weeks have been kind of poop, but the other weeks have been spectacular. So I mean, if him and ETN can just not play in October, we'll be okay. So, but I'd rather have him just because he's growing with Caleb Williams. They'll go through the growing pains, and eventually they'll see the promised land. BTJ, I mean, I don't think long term he can't be this bad, can he? Like, he's like this. He's the CJ Stroud of receivers. That name's popped out a bunch this week, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can call it that. I mean, a lot of people have had gone this route, but yeah, you don't think he's this bad, but who knows? What was it, Josh? From who played for the Browns back in the day.
guys,
He had like the bomb first season, and then he was kind of living off that the rest of his career. Now did have some. I think he has some like drug issues.
Josh Gordon.
Yeah, Josh Gordon. That's weed.
Well, that's because
Yeah,
he got busted before the weed thing changed.
I mean, it's kind of like Josh. He had killed it in the beginning, and then he kind of just disappeared. I don't really see that with Brian Thomas, but we'll see.
I almost put Travis Hunter for my surefire waste of a touchdown, but I figured somebody played him somewhere because, dude, that guy came out. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Is Hunter going to be this good? Did they finally realize they should?
What do you mean be this good? Because what is he going to be this game good? I mean, because the rest of the games have absolutely sucked.
They've been terrible. I'm saying, but this game, like 14 targets, 8.
No, I don't think he's going to be this guy. No, absolutely not.
Parker Washington got 10 targets. What's up with that?
I don't think he's going to be like this game good. He might be. I think he'll be a decent like number 2 option, but I don't think he'll be like this. But yeah, I'd pick Rome Odunze as well. He's one of my favorite players. I got one tight end question. Rondé Gaston come out of nowhere. Of course, I'll bring him up. Old. I guess his dad was a Miami Dolphin, correct?
Yeah, he was. He was so good. I liked it. Well, he was. I loved him.
He had 164 yards, 7 receptions. The tight end in Los Angeles. They don't really have any other tight ends. I mean, this is going to be, this would be the guy. He hasn't really done much the rest of the season. I mean, it's not like he's had a good season. He missed. I don't know if he even
played that other good game. He had one other good game.
He had like 7 points in another game. So I mean, if you want to consider that a good game, then sure.
But his last 2, 68 yards for receiver. So
yeah,
he had 8. So last week he has 8.
I mean, that's fine. But my question for you is, who would you prefer to have, Rondé Gaston or Harold Fannin?
I was this close to trading for Harold Fannin a couple of days ago, and then it turned out I talked to the guys today. We finally bought because we both were going too high off, and it's funny we say that as Harold Fannin. He had an okay day. I mean, the Browns really didn't pass, and I'll take Gaston because Justin Herbert. I think Fannin's a better player? Gadsden's going to have the better opportunity, and that's a lot of times it's the more important thing in the pros. If you're getting thrown to by 82 quarterbacks, as will happen at the Browns for Fannin, it's going to be inconsistent. You're getting thrown to by Justin Herbert, who Harbaugh said, "I'm going to make him a Hall of Famer." Bam, there we go. I think it could be because he's gotten 7 or more targets 3 games. He had 2 crud games and they lost, but the other games, last 2 weeks, it's been 7 receptions, 68 yards, 7 for $164. I mean, it does help when you have a 53-yard catch. So it's against the greatest team in the NFL, or the second greatest team, I guess, the Colts. Yeah. His dad was fun. He wasn't some like superstar, but he was fun.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. Pleasure paying for the week.
Before we jump into Surefire Waste, let's get I just pulled up our Week 8 buys. This is like death week of the NFL. Week 8 buys. So prepare now. Start looking to what you got to do. Cardinals. We should have done it last week, actually. Cardinals, Lions, Jaguars, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks are all on buy. This is like the worst week of buys that could possibly be happening. Good luck with that. There's a lot of receivers in there, handful of running backs, and some stellar offenses you got to go with. And one note, we'll dedicate this week's surefire waste of a touchdown to the muscle hamster. Doug Martin passed away this morning. If you remember him back in the day, passed away.
Did they say why?
As we get it, what?
Did they say how?
They have not. I'm fearful to find out. So I don't know.
Why are you fearful? I mean, do you think
because he's young? When he's young, and they're not saying it's always kind of. So I don't want to go to try to figure anything out. I'm hoping it was cancer. I don't know, but dying young just sucks in general. It's terrible. So, yeah, they said nothing yet. But as we go into our surefire ways to a touchdown, let us look at our newest sponsor, Dubby.gg. If you jump on there, they got an amazing energy drink without some of the additives that are in lots of the other ones that are not good for you. They're ahead of the game. 0 sugar. A lot of doesn't have any of the maltodextrin fillers or any artificial colors. It actually tastes pretty delicious. I've enjoyed having some of that as I've tested our sponsors. I won't give you something that I haven't tried. I've tried Fast Draft and I've tried Dubby. It's yummy and delicious. So if you're looking for a good energy boost, check out Dubby. Dubby.gg. www.dubby.gg. Use the code Couriers for 10% off. And this week they were running like a buy one get one free, and so they have all sorts of things going on. And they also have hydration drinks that are starting to come through. So if you're looking for like a hydration kind of drink, that's the place to go. And you can make us look like a legit podcast. Somebody do it. When you do it, pop us a thing. I'll send you some swag. Okay, not a lot this week, actually. I only got a handful here, unless I deleted some. So we got 5 this week. It was pretty much chalk as far as touchdowns. So let's go to Thursday in the Old Man Bowl. The Aaron Rodgers versus Joe Flacco. Better man couldn't have won. But Aaron Rodgers, all he did was throw touchdowns to tight ends. And you figure they're all going to go to the guy they traded for, Jonnu Smith. No. 2-yard pass to Darnell Washington, the blocking tight end. Good for him. That's a big guy, but that is definitely a surefire.
Wait for the touchdown. Yeah, people really liked him coming out. He's not really done a whole lot. But shout out to Pat Fryermuth.
Yeah. Darnell they got out. We thought he'd be more as fantasy guys because he's a tight end, but he's supposed to be their blocking like sample up in over there in Cincinnati because they gave it to when wow, I'm losing brains. When Gesicki went on IR, Noah Fant stepped up. Matthew Stafford had a day today. I had to start someone in place of Josh Allen, and I started Matthew Stafford. Even if Josh Allen had played, Matthew Stafford had a better day with five touchdowns. Most of them were to Devontae Adams, who did not have a great statistical day other than 3 touchdowns. But he did throw another 5-yard pass to Konata Mumfield. That's it. I wish people listening to the podcast could see your face right now. So, yeah, the JJ Wang's face about wide receiver Konata Mumfield means that this is definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I didn't know he was a wide receiver. I didn't even know he existed as a human being. Yeah, it's definitely a waste for me.
Congratulations to him. That's what happens when Puka's out. We thought it'd be winning him, but nope. Okay, Matthew Stafford has another one. Ooh, so the other pass went to 31 yards to, it's a Ferguson. Oh, but not Jason. Rookie tight end, Terrence Ferguson. Those tight ends, though, if you listen to the game, I was just on the radio.
Jason Ferguson doesn't even play for that team, does he?
Jason plays for the Cowboys, so I just named him Ferguson. That's who you think scores touchdowns, is Jason Ferguson. But the tight ends were dropping balls left and right. I was like, holy cow, how did he catch a touchdown? But 31-yard touchdown for Terrence Ferguson, that is definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown, but I have heard of him.
Yeah, well, it's because we do rookie stuff this year. We'll see if we hear of him in a year. That's the catch. Oh, sorry, I've been sick all week, so I've been sneezing and snotting here, so sorry, guys. This was a beautiful pass. We talked about him earlier. Cam Ward, 38-yard bomb across the field to Shimmery DK. It was awesome. DK is basically their punt and kick returner. So if you have punt kick return yards, I got him in a league. He's racking up some yards. Like this week, his score was ridiculous. I didn't play him, obviously, but because that touchdown was a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I've heard of him. He got a really cool name. That's cool.
Yeah, he's going to be a good kick punt returner. He's Devontae Smith build, but not Devontae Smith talent, who had a really good day too as well. And by the way, AJ Brown, surefire waste of a touchdown, 2 touchdowns. Anybody on them catching the ball? Jackson Dart, we love the dude. He was targeting his whole receiving core is no names. Doesn't matter who he throws to. It's a surefire waste of touchdown for the most part. But usually you see Theo Johnson had the greatest catch. It bounced off of, I think, Wandell or someone, went into his touch, and he ran it for a touchdown. We think he would because he's the guy we know. The guy that he replaced, Daniel Bellinger, had a 44-yard touchdown. It was beautiful. 2 years ago, that's what we thought. But this year, that makes this 100%.
Surefire waste of a touchdown. Yeah, that's sad. He's a big name coming out of college.
And by the way, the name Jude McNamee, he's their backup kicker who started this week. He will be cut tomorrow. He might not last as long as as Mike McDaniel, because he missed an extra point, a field goal, another extra point, and they lost by 1 point or 2 points. They lost by that. They lost by on that extra. Yeah. So because of him, the Giants lost this week. So they lost by 2. So that's all. That's all there was those. Everything else is pretty much chalk. So if you want to hear some more, we're getting ready to go watch the Sunday night game. But if you want to hear some more follow up to the 2 Monday night games, or anything else going into waiver wires, check me out on Fantasy Turf War every Tuesday night at 9:00. There's a link on the Fantasy Couriers Facebook page. It's cool. I can see where people are watching from, and there was a handful of people. I was like, "Yay, go Couriers Nation!" You can also check out Fantasy Turf War on YouTube. If you're on X, that gets a good following, Fantasy Turf War. Or if you're on Rumble, I don't even know what Rumble is because I'm old, but it's on there as well. It's some sort of a channel. So those of you that are young, tell us what Rumble is sometimes. He just tells me to put it up there, and I go, cool. I know what Facebook and X and all that stuff is. But check us out there. Susan, myself, and Cameron have a fun time there. It's a good hour. And also, if you're on there, you can pop a question. We will answer your questions live. It's a fun little thing I've fallen into. So, JG Wang, give us some wisdom. I need to go blow my nose.
Yeah, where's the wisdom? So a few weeks back, I was asking a question for a friend about his 0-4 dynasty team. What should he do? And I think we've got and I'd come to the conclusion. I told him after discussing with you. He decided, it was time to move on. He was more thinking about more next season. This team was really good though. I mean, he got a bunch of young players. He went ahead and traded Devin Achane, got 2 first-round picks for him. So he got 2 first-rounders for Achane. So, I mean, that's okay. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. And now he came back to me. Now his team's on a 3-game winning streak. His team is absolutely murdering it. Really big points the last 3 weeks. On the verge of being in the playoffs. So now he's kind of in that pickle. Should he take those 2 first-round picks, go back and try to get another running back to replace Achane so he can make a run at the playoff?
Does your friend, we'll call him Jason, just as a random name, does your friend have other players on the team, or is this just dumb luck because people are hurt? So he played Rico Dowdle.
Oh, it's a real good team. I mean, full of young players, good quarterbacks. Just an over. I mean, I thought he was going to be competing, from the get go. I mean, he had aspirations of championships.
Yeah, I would tell your friend there's two sides to this coin. He can go out and try to get that running back, but then that guy will probably get hurt. Or if his team is playing so well right now, he now has 2 more first-round picks to build on this great team, because Dynasty is about building. So he had next year and the year after, he's going to have 2 first-round picks to build up this team that's already good. Because I think that was it. Did he get, or are they looking to be early or late first?
They're probably going to be towards the later end.
Yeah, then I might try to trade him more.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get a better play, it'd have to be a young running back. So
his running backs right now are Swift and Breece Hall, so not really that.
Swift is killing it. That's why he's doing good. Swift has all of a sudden become the man.
It's going to be interesting. I might tell him to wait until right before the trade deadline to see where his team is actually at, and then maybe make a decision there. But yeah, as always,
watch the next. See if he survives the week 8 by apocalypse.
So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.